Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to the One Bitcoin Show. Today is September the 13th, 2018. Strong hand, deferral of gratification. Long-term thinking, unconfiscatable, offended by selling, and guess what, people? Personal responsibility is the new counterculture. So before we start today's show, I just want to remind everyone that tomorrow's This Week in Bitcoin show is going to be awesome. It will be at 11:45 a.m. Eastern Time. That's in New York and Baltimore and DC. That's 4:45 p.m. in London, and what's that, 8:45 a.m. in Los Angeles and San Francisco. Again, 11:45 a.m. on Friday. In a little less than 24 hours, we're going to have a great This Week in Bitcoin show with Caitlin Long, Andy Hoffman, and Farzam Ehsani, from South Africa. We're going to talk about institutional money. We're going to talk about Africa. We'll talk about Wyoming and Bitcoin. We're going to talk about all sorts of wild and wacky crypto subjects that you only get here on this channel, where I bring you the best freaking guest in the space. So, hey, man, if you like the best freaking guest in the space, then, hey, pound that freaking like button. And again, this shirt is the Bitcoin Honey Badger. You can get linked the shirts below. This is from Cryptograffiti, actually. I really like this shirt. Don't get to wear it very often, do I? But yeah, Bitcoin is the Honey Badger. Check me out on Twitter at TechBalt, TechBalt. Well, the first story that I found fascinating that I want to share with everyone is this very interesting article about Bitcoin. Okay, there's a lot of lessons to get from this article. Someone installed some light bulbs in their place of business, I believe, and the light bulb started to mine Bitcoin. And the lesson, and I'm going to read you a quote from it. Everything is linked to below. This article is linked to below. But one huge lesson here is that Bitcoin is so valuable that people are willing to go to all sorts of great lengths to get their hands on Bitcoin in pretty shady ways here. This is not a respectable way by hacking into light bulbs, but someone has done this. It's quite dishonest. But it's also a positive when you think about light bulbs mining Bitcoin. I mean, what else is going to be able to mine Bitcoin? What will the future bring for people who choose to do it that way? Again, now, if you choose to mine Bitcoin that way with your light bulbs and it costs you a lot of money, or it doesn't, that's your business. Again, hacking into someone's light bulbs, that's not too cool. But the future is wild and wacky, and this article, it also shows that you got to keep things simple in your house or business. I mean, if you're lazy and you want to control everything by Internet of Things and you have everything on Wi-Fi, that's not the best thing, because you got to value your privacy. And people who are into this Internet of Things, and I've read this in other places, specifically Market Ticker with Carl Denninger, which I've referenced before. I mean, just turn on your own light. If you're putting everything on the Internet of Things, people are going to be able to hack into your house and hack into your baby monitor and look at your baby, and then use your baby monitor apparently to mine Bitcoin also. So, okay, here, I've talked enough about this. Let me read a quote. Combating cryptocurrency mining. And here's a quote. A colleague bought some LED Wi-Fi enabled light bulbs that allowed him to control when and where the lights came on in his home through his mobile phone. There you go, your mobile phones again, people. His light bulbs were connecting to an internet address in China. Turns out the small computer chips in the light bulbs he bought had Bitcoin mining code on them, as well as the promised functionality of being able to adjust brightness. To reiterate, someone at a factory in China figured out how to get people around the world to make him rich by screwing in a light bulb. How many Wi-Fi enabled anythings are in your office? How many Internet of Things devices are in your business? Every one of those devices is a computer that has the potential of being taken over by someone else to do something other than what it was intended to do. People keep it simple. This is amazing, what people are willing to do to get their hands on Bitcoin. So it's a bullish story. It's a story to warn you. And 123 No Scope over in the super chat sent $10. Thank you very much. My college friends seem to have lost interest in Bitcoin. I just got another 0.1 Bitcoin this morning. Who is allowing me to buy this cheap Bitcoin? Strong hand. Think 2030. Dude, your college friends are impulsive. Hey, man, there's a lot of distractions in college. You get caught up in partying. You start valuing your wealth in women. Maybe your parents are putting pressure on you to get A's, and then it's not cool to deal with Bitcoin anymore. It's not on the front pages anymore. It's not splashy. You can't flip it and trade it and do all these crazy things. And thus, these young people, they don't have the experience in life. They want to do flashy things. They want short-term answers. Dude, that's bad for them, for your college friends. You should, try to convince them to be long-term thinkers. Think about the year 2030, that, when you're 29 years old, then, or whatever you're going to be then, or I guess you'll be older. Never mind. You'll be 31. I don't know how old you'll be then. You will be in such a great financial position, and they'll be like still trying to fit in. They'll be like, oh, I better go get that job with the good insurance. Oh, my wife is making me take out an extra loan on the house. No, you won't be like that. They'll still be that impulsive way. So, hey, keep it up, 123. I appreciate the $10 super chat. And yeah, college students, if you're watching this, come on, this is your chance. Get your 0.1 Bitcoin now, then end up with 1 Bitcoin like the name of this show implies. All right. So we talked about the Wi-Fi hackery there of your light bulbs, but hey, what are you going to do? Just, don't be lazy. Turn on your own lights. Okay. So institutions. Now, we're going to talk about institutional investment tomorrow on the This Week in Bitcoin show. Obviously, that Caitlin Long knows a lot about that and can calm down your fears and can talk about the safe storage that they're going to have. I don't think it's going to be well. Anyway, we're not the custodial accounts. We're not going to talk about that right now. But don't put these institutions on pedestals. At the same time, they're coming. Don't hold your breath waiting for them, though, and say, well, I'll buy when the institution is buying. No, don't do that. Have a strong hand. They're all going to come eventually. I don't know when. You don't know when. But be patient. And again, they're not the kings of the world, but they will. It'll make a difference. But here's the tweet from Alistair Milne. Goldman, Citibank, ICE, now Morgan Stanley, all launching Bitcoin product services because there's no institutional demand. And he's making a joke because there's all these people saying, oh, no, there's no institutional demand. Well, he just pointed out that, why would these huge, incredibly wealthy organizations be launching products if there's no institutional demand? And he adds, institutional money took the hedge fund industry from $300 billion to $6 trillion. All right. Hey, it'll take Bitcoin to a whole new level also. Bitcoin doesn't need it. It's going to come, and it's going to make a difference. But yeah, don't hold your breath, and don't make your Bitcoin decisions based on institutions, okay? You do it because you're a long-term thinker. You've got a strong hand, and you want to get in now before they get in, actually. Okay, and in addition to that, here's another tweet on a similar theme. At dinner with a bunch, this is from Wheat Pond. At a dinner with a bunch of very old school Boston VCs and family offices, someone asked what coin they'd put 5% of their net worth in. Universal answer, Bitcoin. Bitcoin's the one. It's the rock. 1 Bitcoin equals 1 Bitcoin. The people out there, they haven't heard. And some people are like, well, Bitcoin just has the name recognition. You can check out the thread yourself. Bitcoin just has the name recognition. That's why they're saying it. What's wrong with that? Yeah, it's the brand. It is cryptocurrency to certain people. And you know what? You don't have to go dive into the crypto rabbit hole and learn about all the other cryptos. There's no point. It is the one. It is the rock. So pound that freaking like button. And yeah, again, they're not putting 5% of their wealth into this just yet. They're not putting 1% of their wealth into it just yet. But these people behind family offices and, Boston VCs, these blue-blooded Bostoners, down with the Red Sox. Pound that like button. Anyway, they know. When the time comes and it's more kosher for them or whatever, they're going to wait till the institutions really pile in, but they're so rich it doesn't matter. No, I guess a Boston Blue Bud would not use the term kosher. Tell that freaking like button. No, Meister, you're not coming into my country club today. That's their right. They don't have to let me in their darn country club. No one should be forced to let. If you got a private country club, they should be able to let whoever they want to let in there. And we're kind of loud anyway. Who wants us in your country club? Okay. You gotta be able to poke fun at yourself. What do we have here? What's this? Oh, Ethereum. I wanted to bring up this Ethereum thing. That whale, and now Whale Panda is no fan of Ethereum, but here's this tweet. Ethereum isn't going to zero yet. There's too much money behind it. It'll pump again. Will it ever reach all-time highs against Bitcoin? Doubtful. Will it reach all-time highs versus the US dollar? Depends on Bitcoin. That's a similar take to what I have said many times on here, that this is all cyclical. These things don't go to zero. It isn't going, he said it isn't going to zero yet. I'm not using the word yet. It's never going to zero. Okay, there is too much money behind it, he points out. I agree. There are certain institutions out there that want to have the next Bitcoin, and they put a lot into Ethereum, wanting it to be the next Bitcoin. They're not like short-term people. They're long-term thinkers. They're not giving up on Ethereum. They're in it for the long term. They want to have the next Bitcoin, although Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. They'll learn the hard way. Will it ever get to its all-time high in terms of Bitcoin? It might again. I don't care. In terms of fiat, yeah, it definitely will. Okay, but who values their wealth in fiat anyway? Well, probably if you're in Ethereum, maybe you do. I don't know. If you're some altcoin freak out there, yeah, you do value your wealth in most likely you value it in fiat, or you would just be in Bitcoin. You do 1 Bitcoin equals 1 big. There's a lot of you guys out there. I'm just trying to get more Bitcoin from flipping these altcoins. Yeah, good luck. And we're going to get into us in a second why. Again, the best policy is just to hold on to your Bitcoin. Keep it simple. Again, keep your light bulb simple. Keep your don't put everything on the internet. Don't put everything on your cell phone, or else you get hacked and you get your Bitcoin stolen. You become a miner. Your device turns into a Bitcoin miner to some guy in China. Oh God. All right, what do we have here? Oh, Matt Odell, a great tweet out there. Without a properly equipped toolbox, you're just flying blind. Some of my favorite tools. Okay, so you got to check out that link below to all these statistical sites and Twitter feeds that he uses to analyze Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. There are some great sites out there. I love looking at statistical sites. I'm not going to list all the ones he lists. You just go to his tweet listed below, check them all out. You'll become a better Bitcoin holder if you check out these sites and learn more and more about the stats behind it. All right, so pound that like button, people. First of all, remember, subscribe to the channel and bang that bell button if you need a reminder. Twitter, and when we go live, if you care about that kind of thing. Steam it. I'm Bitcoin Meister over there. And of course, disruptmeister.com. That's where you can see all my shows, over 1,000 shows in the freaking archives. I post a new show here every day. And of course, I keep it on a real positive tip here. But Crush the Street has an article about, well, it's a very unfortunate thing. Bitcoin suicides, the darker side of cryptocurrencies. And I want to remind everyone, check out my Tuesday show where I was talking about how I was away for Bitcoin for 48 hours and, got more in touch because it was Rosh Hashanah and got more in touch with the rest of the world. And yes, life is much more than Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, much more. And if, it is hard to hold on to your Bitcoin. You might make a bad trading move if you get into that kind of thing. You might get fished out of your Bitcoin by thinking you're logging into a Trezor site and it's not really your Trezor. You can lose a lot of Bitcoin very fast. Personal responsibility is a new counterculture. And if you had a lot of Bitcoin and you suddenly lost it, it could be emotionally devastating. And I know we're in a world today where some people just are very emotional and leads them, they lose their wife and they end up killing themselves or something like that. And, you lose your wife, you lose your Bitcoin. Nothing is worth killing yourself. Okay. So I want to make this as clear as possible. If you have had emotional issues in the past, if you have been suicidal in the past and you're into Bitcoin right now, I've got to tell you, you should do nothing with your Bitcoin. That's the best thing. And I know I have preached this for everyone on this earth, just to hold your Bitcoin, especially if you have had serious mental issues in the past or even mild ones. Yourself, okay? You do not want to get into the position where you're going to even think about taking your own life. And for me, that's a very hard thing to imagine. I made this clear on the show before. I do not really grasp the concept of being depressed even. I wish everyone could. I understand not everyone is like this. You can't be positive all the time, but enjoy life, people. And again, if you have ever, yourself, if you do get overly emotional, the best thing, and you're in a Bitcoin, do not become a trader. Do not become an altcoin invest. Do not try to move your Bitcoin from one device to another device just for the heck of it. Do nothing with your Bitcoin. All right. I'm Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Remember to subscribe to this channel, like this video, share this video. Check out the link section below. I will say hi to you dudes in the chat. And remember, tomorrow's This Week in Bitcoin is going to be awesome with Caitlin Long, Farzam, and Andy Hoffman, 11:45 a.m. Eastern Time. That's New York and Baltimore and DC. See ya. Bye.